Okay, today we're changing out the front brake pads and rotors on this 2003 Chevy Cavalier. You can see I've got the front wheel off and I've got the vehicle up off the ground and supported with jack stands. So let's get started. Alright, you can see I have the wheel turned out towards me. And to remove these caliper bolts, you need a 3/8 inch hex bit socket that looks something like this. And one reason I always turn this outward like this is so that if I need an extra level of persuasion, you can actually do it. Whereas if the wheel was straight, I wouldn't be able to fit this pipe in there. So it just gives you a little more leverage to break these free. And actually that one went pretty easily. See if I can get the bottom one without using the pipe here. That's it. Okay. Okay, so those have actually come out. What we need to do next is pry this caliper off here. Sometimes the rotor will develop a ridge, and you might need to pry the caliper off. Okay, so this disc will come right off. Sometimes there's a little bit of rust right in through here, and you'll have to knock it loose, but that one came off pretty good. Pads off here. Okay, so this is what the pin bolts look like on this. You can see it's a hex, and I'm going to basically clean this up and grease it up a little bit. Get the other one out here. There. So there's that one. Alright, let me get the boots out here, or these bushings rather. Alright, there's that one. That one went a little easier. Okay, you can see on these bushings here that one side is larger than the other, so this would be on the outside and these will come through this way. Alright, just going to clean these up a little bit. Alright, I'll tap those in here. Okay, so next I'm going to compress this slave cylinder, this piston here. So to do that, I'm going to put the old pad back in place, because we don't want to do it with our new one. Let me set this down here for a second. Okay, and I'm going to use a C-clamp. Now keep in mind that on some vehicles the piston actually needs to be wound in, not just pushed back. So you'd want to make sure on your vehicle that you can do this. And you want to get it on straight, and you don't want to hit the brake hose if possible. And I don't know if we'll be able to see this piston compress or not, but basically give it a little crank and you should be able to see the piston go in, and you want to make sure you're going straight on. So, and what I do is crank it and then you wait a second, because the hydraulics relax and it actually gets easier rather than just going gung-ho. Okay, I don't know if you've been able to see that or not, but this pad's pretty much flush to the caliper. Okay, so here's my rotor. I got this from autopartswarehouse.com. Okay, occasionally when these come packaged, you'll see that there's like a grease on here to prevent them from rusting. And you want to use something like a brake parts cleaner if you have any. I'm actually using carbon choke cleaner because I don't have any brake parts cleaner right now. Something that will clean the disc and not leave any kind of residue. Alright, so this will just pop right in place here. Just line the studs up. Stud down. And I've got these Wagner ceramics here, and this is the outer pad, this is the inner pad, or the one that goes towards the piston. Do the outer one first here real quick. Okay, you might want to take a screwdriver and try to, if these are real tight, but it's not too bad. Okay, so they want to sit in there like that. Want to make sure that your brake hose is not twisted. Slide it back down over your rotor. And once I get one started, I'll move on to the next one just to make sure that I get them both threaded before I tighten one all the way down. So this is pretty much it. Changing out your brake pads and your rotor is one of those things that most people can do because it doesn't require a lot of tools. And it's not very expensive. When I get done with this one, I'll move on to the other side. I'll double check my brake fluid. And before you take off and start driving, you want to pump your brakes real good before you even put it in gear. So, you want to pump the pedal several times until it feels almost solid, or at least until the sponginess is out of it. Okay, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and put the wheel back on. I'll move on to the other side. I'll pump the brakes, and we'll be back in action. So hopefully this video has been helpful. Go ahead and give it a shot. Please leave questions and comments below, and thanks for watching.